folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' the Country, this is fun. It's Gene Watson, and I've done a number of Gene Watson songs, and a number of them have been on Larry's Country Diner. And this is no exception. Montauk Ed made a gift to the channel. Ed, thank you for the gift, my friend. And you had requested, or you had written in there something like the original, I wrote it down. Beautiful original recording version, and I went to look at that, and it was really low quality audio, and so I went with a better quality video. And Larry's Country Diner doesn't block them either. They let us use them, so I'm gonna go with that. I hope that's acceptable. I hope that doesn't disappoint you. Usually the live ones work really well, so courtesy of Montauk Ed, you need to, well, I don't know if you would even wear a hat like this if you had one. Maybe you would, because you're not there any longer. All right, here we go.
You know, Larry, the hallmark of his career is he's always had these great songs. I mean, he's just got an ear to pick great songs, like the one we were just talking about. But you've had some great writers write for you, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I did after I got started. In the first few years of it, they were kind of hard to find because back then you had the little 45 RPM records, and I went through all kinds of records. My manager he owned a distributing company for records, and I spent a lot of time down there going through songs that never did get played on the radio or anything, going on B-sides and all that. But after we got started, we had such guys as Joe Allen, Dave Kirby, and Dallas Harms, so many great writers that were writing for me, and I really appreciate that.
What's the strangest place you found a song that you really liked and did something for you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've always had the freedom to pick and choose my own material,
right.
and I appreciate that. But the first time I heard the song Paper Rosie, it was brought from Canada by Mr. Frank Jones, who was heading up the country divisional capital, Nashville. And he brought this song back thinking it would be a great Gene Watson song. And really, I didn't care for it. And I went in the studio and tried to get to like it and put it together and everything. And I didn't make it. I didn't come off with the song. And Frank asked me would I go back in, because he said, I think this is a hit song for you. And he said, I think if you'll try again, we can get there. So I knew he was real adamant about me recording this song, being written by Dallas Harms of Canada. And the second time we went in there, we added a flute and a clarinet and a trombone to that recording. And I changed a little bit different attitude. And when we left the studio that time, I knew we had us a song. And thanks to all the people, it was number one.
It's the second one on this collection that you've got. Are you doing that perchance?
Yeah, why not? You want to do it, Jimmy?
Paper Rose?
Yeah.
Sure.
This is the number one.
Caps. Sure. I don't know this song, I don't think.
The sun goes down in Calvin County. Neon lights from an old beer sign shone through the window out on the sidewalk. As I walked in to pass the time, I looked around, sat down at a table. I ordered beef on rye and a glass of wine. And through the door came a little old lady. She was selling paper roses, and they only cost a dime. Paper Rosie, Paper Rosie, she sold you paper roses, and they only cost a dime.
Detail.
Silver hair that's lost its gold, trembling hands as she passed the rose. Red crepe paper made nature's bouquet help a little old lady buy a rose today. I took the rose from her trembling hand. With eyes of age, she smiled and walked away. Like a breath of spring, I could smell the rose. It came alive, and I heard her say, "Buy my roses, pretty roses. They're only made of paper, but they only cost a dime." I went to look for her outside. A spray of roses lay by her side.
Oh no.
The sky lit up and a choir sang. 1,000 voices as the church bells rang. They sang Rosie, paper Rosie. She sold you paper roses, and they only cost a dime.
Oh Jesus, this is all right.
Yeah.
Over?
Man,
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Wow. That is brilliant lyricism right there. Brilliant. And just bringing in the end where the roses were by her side. And you're like, well, that can't be good. Like, why wouldn't they be in her hand? And then you brought in the spiritual part where the church and the 1,000 angels and all. It's like she died without saying she died. That's how I took that ending there. But the way Gene sang that, and then the story in the beginning is like, I didn't really like it to begin with. And then in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, what was the switch over? Not just that the gentleman, what did he say, Harms, the Canadian, or Frank somebody, who really thought it would be a good song for Gene to record. He was obviously right about that. What was the official transition? All right, different composition or different production, if you will, bringing in the clarinet, the flute, I think he said trombones, and obviously that's not on Larry's Country Diner here, just guitar and Gene and a backing vocalist. But you just wonder, like, what was the transition in his mind to embrace it? Because when your heart's not into something or someone, and then it's into something or someone, there's something that changed your heart and your mind on it. Obviously a touching song with the little old lady, but brilliant songwriting. Each new line made me wonder, how did the songwriter go with that detail? Because there were bunches of others that could have sprang to mind and probably did. And sometimes a lyric just stays because you know it's spot on. But other times, like, I don't know if I like that adjective or if it's enough, or when you add something down the road, more lyrics down the line, does it still work with those lyrics? Or if I tweak it here? And it was just, obviously Gene, the way he sang it with that masculine sensitivity was just beautiful. So, oh yeah, it's no surprise that Ed, you were the that you requested this. My God, you do that. You're a good man, Ed. You're a good man. You make me think, you make me feel with your request. It's like, hey, let's do this to Don today. And you do. I think you have a 100% hit rate. Goodness gracious. I got to rate this song, and you know what I'm going to give it based on my just everything so far. There's nothing wrong with that song. That's a 10. Every so often, it seems like I get on a roll with 10s, and it's not because I want to or don't want to give them out. It's, so to speak, just every so often it happens. I think there was a 10 a couple days ago. I remember like a year ago, in the span of like 3 days, I think there were like 3 10s. And it's like, I mean, when you study data distribution and stuff like that, it won't come as any surprise that when you do have a large sample size within it, there are going to be what appear to be some anomalies, but they're really not anomalous the further out you pull back on the macro scale. But without boring you with that stuff, this was a 10. Ed, that was just brilliant, man. And the sheriff, Jimmy Capps, was there and all that. So, all right, folks, you can thank Montauk Ed for that one. I sure do. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.